There's a few things to keep in mind as you think about what kind of damage can be sustained from a frost event. December is often the month of our first fall frost. Hopefully you have some things on hand and you're prepared. If you see that temperatures are going to drop below 32 degrees, that is the time to cover some of those frost-sensitive plants. Hopefully we've had a nice gradual descend into cooler temperatures, but when we get a sudden early frost, that's when a lot of the damage comes because plants haven't had time to adjust to cooler temperatures and go into dormancy. But plants that are completely fully growing and then are shocked with those colder temperatures, that's where a lot of the damage can happen. Newly planted or newly pruned plants also are more susceptible to frost damage than older, more established plants. Because temperatures for our plants in containers fluctuate more than in-ground plants, plants in containers are also more susceptible to freezing temperatures. If we have a frost event that lasts for several days, that is also more damaging than a single short-term frost event. If you're wondering what needs covered and what doesn't, believe it or not, there are several vegetables that don't mind a little frost at all, and it actually improves the taste and flavor of some vegetables. Here are a few key principles to keep in mind when preparing your garden for freezing temperatures. Water plants well before a frost event. Well-watered plants withstand freezing temperatures better than dehydrated plants. The water in the soil helps insulate the soil. If you're going to cover your plants, it's important to cover them before the sun goes down because you want to trap that heat that has been absorbed throughout the day before it dissipates into the air at night. So cover your plants before sundown and cover the plants all the way to the ground. The idea is to trap the stored heat as it radiates, and keeping it covered all the way to the ground will trap the maximum amount of heat. What can you use to cover your plants during a frost event? Frost cloth works great, burlap works great, bed sheets also work really well. You shouldn't use plastic. It really doesn't trap a lot of the heat and can damage your plants. When do you take off the coverings? It's best to take off the coverings once the sun comes up and temperatures are above freezing each morning. Trapping that heat during the day can cause some of those plants to go out of dormancy and may actually cause extra damage to your plants. So put those covers on at sundown and then take them off again once temperatures warm up a little bit in the morning. So it is a little bit more work, but it is better for your plants because we don't want to bring them out of dormancy. If you're using frost cloth actually has the added benefit of not having to remove it during the day, but things like blankets and sheets should definitely be pulled off during the day if you're going to cover your plants for a frost event. If you're looking for ways to add heat, you can also wrap the trees with non-LED lights. The old-fashioned incandescent lights can be used to generate heat once that sun goes down. Okay, now what do you do after the frost has passed and you're left behind with unsightly frost damage on your plants? If it's an annual plant in your vegetable garden, it may be dead. You may just need to pull that plant. Tomatoes and peppers may have suffered severe damage and they may not make it. So you can look and see, you may be able to tell if it's all brown, it's probably all dead. What about landscape plants? You may see some damage on the tips of the trees and bushes. The best thing to do, although it's unsightly, is just to leave it in place. Believe it or not, that frost damage on the plant will actually protect the plant from further frost damage. If you cut off that damaged section and we have another frost event, the damage will increase. That newly pruned part of the plant will be exposed to more freezing temperatures and the tree will suffer more damage. Resist the temptation to prune those frost damaged areas until danger of frost has passed. For us here in the low desert, that usually means mid to late February. Hope you enjoyed this video and got some ideas for some things that you can do in your garden. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful month.